What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. So, some good news. It appears that I've mostly found my voice. Big thanks to everyone in the comments with all the well wishes. I still did some stuff over the weekend, though. Talked about Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and also got an accessory in for my GameCube, and I was able to take the console online, so check those videos out if you're curious. Today, though, we have some interesting stuff to go over. This does include some reports now circulating around a big franchise that seems on track to hit the Switch, as well as Sony responding to the big Gran Turismo 7 controversy. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure that like button helps out a ton. And if you're new here to the Spawnwave channel, make sure you subscribe down below and ring that notification bell so you can keep up to date with all the uploads here on the channel. And we're going to start today with, reports that we could be seeing Sony finally announcing their Project Spartacus service that mostly will take PlayStation Plus and merge it with PlayStation Now with some added benefits. We can see this that was posted up by Bloomberg. It was on Friday. Sony to unveil PlayStation subscription as soon as next week. And now we're all kind of just waiting around for a press release to get pushed and a blog post to be updated on their website for PlayStation. That's kind of the way I think they're going to go about this for the week. If this, of course, is correct from Bloomberg, which most likely they have heard that marketing is nearing the point where they're about to make everything public, and everyone's also kind of curious as to what they are going to show off here. A large library of PS1 and PS2 titles. How will they take all the tiers and break them up? And then the pricing. There have been some slides going around that just magically popped up on 4chan that are pretty poor Photoshop jobs is what I'll say, so I don't know if I put a lot of stock in any of that. We'll just kind of hang out and wait and see what Sony has for us. Also, this summer will mark 2 years since the new Skate game was announced. Originally, we just called it Skate 4, but now it looks like it's just called Skate. Well, it appears we could be seeing this game maybe sooner than even I was expecting. We can see this posted up. This is over on Xputer. This from Tom Henderson. Says Skate 4 enters playtesting and could be revealed soon. They say sources have said the game is well into its QA phase, which is news that can now be revealed via Origin's API under the name Project Dingo. The title has now started active internal playtesting via Origin. You can see kind of some of the code there. However, there was an update to this story later on, saying multiple people have since reached out to me claiming that playtesting has been ongoing with Skate for months and that the Origin API update could indicate that something more is going on. And this is exciting stuff, obviously. I'm a big fan of the Skate series, and I've been calling for it to come back forever now. So very happy that we're starting to see some movement here with this new Skate title. But I will admit, it's sooner than I was expecting. Like, I kind of thought this was going to go away for 3 years potentially, and then they show back up ready to talk about it. So when I hear that, like 2 years after they said, hey, we're getting everyone together to start developing it, they're going to show it, makes me a little concerned on the amount of content that they're going to have ready for launch, but who knows? Maybe this is something they will be building up over the next 2 years, even after they show it off, and they'll have a full-fledged Skate game ready to go. But if we do see it the next couple of months, at least it'll be something fun to check out. Oh, and next week, Chrono does release, and I was really curious about a physical copy for this game. Well, it looks like we do have one, just it'll be a little more difficult to get. We could see this was posted up over on Nintendo Life, Chrono getting physical release on Switch in Asia with English support. In fact, they do go over some of the different languages that will be included with this international version. That includes English, Japanese, Spanish, French, German, and Italian, this being available over on PlayAsia. We're still waiting to find out when pre-orders will go live, but according to them, the release date for this physical copy is April 26th, so I would expect pre-orders to be opening up as soon as this week. And yeah, that means that you would probably have to hold off till it gets to you as well. Like, there's going to be shipping involved, obviously, so could take a week or two for it to get to your doorstep, so you might end up having to wait a month if you want it physically from when it would be releasing next week. But I am going to go for the physical copy. I played Chrono way back in the day, so if I wait a little longer, especially with all the stuff I have to play now, won't be that big of a deal. And guys, with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start right away with Sony responding to the entire Gran Turismo 7 situation, which did not go as smoothly as I think they were hoping when they first released the title. But we can see this blog post over on PlayStation.com where they say Gran Turismo 7 update from Polyphony Digital. This indeed was from the president of Polyphony Digital, Mr. Yamauchi, who says, "Thank you for your continued support and feedback on Gran Turismo 7. Your voices have not gone unheard. I would like to apologize for the frustration and confusion caused last week with our patch notes, which resulted in not only a server outage, but also adjustments to the in-game economy, which were made without a clear explanation to our community. We know this is not the Gran Turismo experience you expect, and we will be making a goodwill gesture in the form of a non-paid credit pack of 1 million credits available to those players who may have been affected. You will see this hit your account shortly. Make sure you log into the game before April 25th to claim the credits." Now, they also go over several updates. One section will go into effect at the beginning of April, with the other one coming later on. Let's talk first, though, about the updates we can expect in the next few weeks. Mostly, this involves increasing rewards in different events, like in the latter half of the world circuits, by approximately 100% on average. They'll also include a total of 8 new 1-hour endurance race events to missions. They're going to increase the upper limit of non-paid credits in player wallets from 20 million credits up to 100 million credits, and increase the quantity of used and legend cars on offer at any given time, which I think is good, because if you go into like the used car like lots that they have, there's not a lot of cars there. Like it seems pretty restricted. So the idea of them at least increasing that, I think, is a good step. As for updates that will happen sometime in the future, they're not comfortable to give us exact dates or specifics just yet. Increase the payout value of limited time rewards as they develop as a live service. There it is. I had mentioned before, that's what this is. It's one of Sony's live service games. They're actually using the phrase right there in the bullet points. Further World Circuit event additions, addition of endurance races to missions, including 24-hour races, addition of online time trials, and awarding of rewards according to the player's difference with a top ranked time, and make it so cars can be sold, which is a big deal because, yeah, it says that in the description. I think in that case, they kind of got caught. I feel like it was planned before the game came out, and they decided to take it away because it made getting credits a bit too easy, since they throw cars around all over the place. You do a certain race according to the cafe, and you just get a car, and then another one, and then another one. You'll pile them up pretty quickly, especially duplicates of cars, and you start selling them, getting 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 credits per car, then yes, you'll start stockpiling credits very, very fast. Now, there is one part of this that people were pretty frustrated with, and that is that they said nothing about the always online connection, like the DRM. And to be honest, it's too late. Like, they've already decided that's the path they want to go. And even if they wanted to fix this was pointed out a lot, by the way, in the comments, how would they go about doing that other than giving you a patch through PlayStation Store, right? An online patch that you have to connect to the internet at least one time to get anyway, almost like an online activation. So no matter what, because of the way the game shipped, it will always need an online connection, even just once, for long enough to get that patch out of the box, which is an unfortunate requirement for the overall preservation of the game itself, because when the servers go down and maybe they move on to Gran Turismo 8 10 years down the line or something, that disc will just become a coaster at that point. But as we work towards that all-digital future, at least you won't have useless discs laying around 20 years from now, right? But this is at least something. It's a step in the right direction, and yeah, it's one of their live service games, which means they're gonna take probably a while, years even, with feedback from the community in order to get it right. And the fact that they came out with this update tells me that, well, there's a lot of stuff out there to do, a lot of games to play, and I have a feeling a good chunk of the player base just decided to move on and do other things. I'm sure they saw that, and that's why there was such a pretty serious response here relatively quickly in terms of the overall scope of gaming and how long some of these updates take to happen and what they're aiming for. So I hope that Gran Turismo 7 ends up becoming a better game when it comes to its in-game economy, because the racing and the gameplay itself is really good. Next up, while we're on the topic of live service games, let's talk about one of the most successful games we've ever seen in our lifetime, and that's Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, this is a title that sold over 160 million copies. It's mind-blowing stuff. So they decided to introduce a subscription service over the weekend. Take a look at this here. This was posted up over on Rockstar Games saying, introducing GTA Plus for GTA Online, a new player membership delivering exclusive benefits and more, launching March 29th. Now, they go over several of the benefits in kind of this list here. It includes GTA Plus member gets you a recurring monthly 500,000 credits direct deposit to your Maze bank account, which I don't play GTA Online really at all. I played it when they first were releasing it way back in the day, and then again when it released on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and even I know that 500,000 credits isn't that much. But they say there's the opportunity to claim properties in and around Los Santos that unlock gameplay updates you may have missed out on, special vehicle upgrades, member-only discounts, GTA money and RP bonuses, and more each month. It also looks like some of these benefits will change month to month because they have a time set for this specific list, March 29th to April 27th, at which point I assume they're going to change this around, balance it, or add different things, remove different parts of it depending on feedback. And people are wondering, why are they doing this now? GTA 5, GTA Online, it's been around for so long, and all of a sudden they're like, here is a monthly subscription that is $6 a month, by the way, and you get these different benefits. It's because, I think anyway, they're looking towards the future when they revamp GTA Online, release the next one along with GTA 6, and they want to have this right at that time. They don't want to figure it out when GTA 6 comes out. They want to already have this all done. Like they get the feedback from people who are actually playing GTA Online. Okay, what works, what doesn't, what's a fair price? Because look, they want to monetize this further. They're a business. In their mind, they're like, well, people are playing GTA Online. They're buying shark cards. Would they also buy a $6 a month membership? And I'm sure there are quite a few people who will. Like, I'm looking at this and I think it's hilarious because it's like, how much more money do they need from GTA 5? That's my thought around this is, it looks so strange right now, right? But in the future, it'll make more sense if they can figure it out for the inevitable release of GTA 6, which is going to break records. Let's be real. They're going to announce it. The internet's going to explode. There's going to be a lot of hype around it. And then the next GTA Online, that's going to be a big deal. And look, there's this $5 or $6 a month subscription that launches alongside of it. And they'll clean up then with the kind of hype around GTA 6. So is it worth it now? I don't know. I don't play GTA Online. I'm assuming it's not. But for the long run, it's something they're, of course, looking forward to. Next up, let's talk about a big franchise that is reportedly making its way to the Switch. Now, this started up with some rumors that have been flying around for what feels like years now, and it's started to pick up more and more steam, and now we're starting to see them come back around again. We can see this post up. This was over on Twitter, cataloged by Nintendo Life from Ralph's Valve, saying Activision are reportedly considering releasing remastered Call of Duty titles repurposed for newer consoles to fill out the empty space between premium Call of Duty titles, World at War, Call of Duty 1 and 2, backwards compatibility for Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare Remastered, are currently what's in conversation. Everything else was described by an associate as complicated. Addressing the confusion, MWR is supposedly coming to Switch, that being Modern Warfare Remastered, its first introductory into the Call of Duty franchise for the console. This, of course, following the remarks from Brad Smith when talking about Nintendo, saying we'd like to bring it, that being Call of Duty, to Nintendo devices. We'd like to bring the other popular titles that Activision has and ensure that they continue to be available at PlayStation and that they become available on Nintendo. That, of course, from Microsoft's side, whereas Activision would be playing things out now ahead of Microsoft most likely acquiring Activision. I don't think shareholders are going to vote it down, and I think it will at least be able to pass by the FTC and all of that. Everyone looking into it, I think, will give it a good stern look and then be like, all right, yeah, you can go ahead and acquire them. But the idea of Call of Duty finally making its way to Nintendo for the Switch, which is on track to, I mean, it could be the most successful console we've ever seen at this point, depending on how things continue and how long Nintendo stretches out this generation. Seems weird that it would have taken this long, but I mean, we know Activision had some issues with the Switch when it comes to development and if it was worth their time. We heard that something like Crash Bandicoot made its way to the Switch because someone at the office was just playing around with it and realized, oh, we can port this over. It works. And then they were like, all right, let's do it. So Call of Duty is one where they seem unsure, I'm at least is my reading on it, how well it would do on the Switch. But going back and getting Modern Warfare Remastered, maybe with just the campaign, bringing it over and just seeing if people are that interested on Nintendo's platform might be the best way for them to test the waters. I think if they wanted to do this, a remastered collection of one of the series when it comes to the campaigns, and then pick out one multiplayer mode from there, like maybe you get the Modern Warfare series, just a couple of them, throw them together, and then get like Modern Warfare 2's like multiplayer and throw it in. Or you get Black Ops series, you get like one of the Black Ops games, throw that multiplayer in, and it's like one package probably for full price. It's Activision, let's be real. So that I think is the best way to go about it, but who knows, they may piecemeal this thing and occasionally a campaign will pop up for Modern Warfare Remastered going forward. But I think it'll be really cool to see Call of Duty come to the Switch. This is still rumor territory, but I do believe it will happen at some point. I mean, eventually the Switch is going to get to like 120, 130 million. It's going to be like, how do we keep ignoring that? It'd be tough. And Microsoft seems pretty interested in making that happen. So I think we'll see that at some point in the future. In our last bit of news, let's talk about a phrase that was really being thrown around years ago, left and right by Microsoft, and that is the power of the cloud. I think we heard it a lot on the build-up to Crackdown 3, and then we played Crackdown 3 and then kind of just moved along, but the idea was the cloud computing would help with things like multiplayer when it came to all of the destruction and stuff that was going on. Well, now it looks like Microsoft is gonna be doubling down on development around cloud computing in games going forward. We can see this posted up over on VGC. Xbox has unveiled a new publishing division focused on cloud native games. Portal and Left 4 Dead developer Kim Swift is leading the new organization. According to Microsoft, the division works with studios to develop cloud-native titles and bring them exclusively to the Xbox ecosystem. Now, there were a lot of benefits that were outlined when it comes to using cloud computing for your games. Like AI was a big one that they were pushing on, but also the ability to create QA bots, which can use machine learning to test games on a huge scale. I never thought of that. I mean, quality assurance is very important in games because you'll find bugs, glitches, things that would break the game, go back to developers, kind of work out all of those bugs so you have a better, more polished product at release. To be able to have a bunch of bots kind of use machine learning to test games faster and a wider scale is very interesting when it comes to the development side of things. And again, getting to the point where we have more stable releases for these titles, toxicity detection and filters, using machine learning to improve games that have procedurally generated features. So I mentioned Crackdown 3. Also consider something like Flight Simulator, where that uses cloud computing for things like the world itself that you're flying around in. It builds out from a ton of map data. I think they're saying like petabytes of map data that then generates below you while you're flying around. So yes, you can legitimately see things that are happening kind of in the world at that time. Or you could see like your house or you could visit all kinds of places. And a lot of that has to do with cloud computing, keeping things very current and populating that world. Now, of course, this means you would need a consistent internet connection, and when you work that into single player games, well, we're seeing what's happening right now with Gran Turismo 7, so there's gonna be some pushback, I'm sure, so they would have to come up with some pretty compelling ideas for why you need to be connected to the internet and take advantage of cloud computing. I'm at least curious to see where they go with this and what other developers, not necessarily just Microsoft, as they are creating this label, this publishing division, in order to work with third-party devs to come up with new and unique ideas for cloud computing. So it seems pretty early on now, and we'll just have to keep an eye out to see what they come up with. And before we go to the comment of the day, we're gonna take a look at the poll that I posted up yesterday, where I asked, are you currently subscribed to PlayStation Now? Look at that, 93% said no, 7% said yes. So the reason I asked this, and I figured it would be a landslide for no, is because PlayStation Now doesn't have a lot of subscribers currently. But if Sony shows up with a compelling lineup for Project Spartacus, whatever they call it, and it does merge PlayStation Now with PlayStation Plus, this poll would change drastically. In fact, when we do get this new subscription service from Sony announced, I'll run another poll and I'll see how many people are curious or interested in signing up for the different tiers or not at all, and we'll see if any of this shifts or moves around. And we'll finish up with the comment of the day as you're seeing here. This is from Carla saying, I got a new theory. If the new 3D Kirby game can do well, they will still make new 2D Kirby games as new Kirby Dream Land, and the 3D will be same as Forgotten Land, but with new features. And, you know, that's not a bad idea. I mean, we see Metroid, we have 2D Metroid, we have 3D Metroid, we have 2D Mario, we have 3D Mario, and they coexist. We'll have even like full 3D Zelda games. Then we'll also have like the isometric top-down kind of Zelda games as well. I think you could do that with Kirby. If you have an interesting enough idea for the 2D side of things with Kirby, and that's the biggest problem I had with where 2D Kirby was going, it just felt stagnant and very safe. And I think that's why Star Allies came out, and even Kirby fans were like, well, it's more Kirby. I guess it's fine. It wasn't like how I'm seeing Forgotten Land be received right now, where people are like, this is the best Kirby game I've ever played. because it was a massive shift for the Kirby franchise. So I like the idea of 3D Kirby and 2D Kirby coexisting as long as they can come up with unique ideas for both. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit that like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about here today. Was Sony responding to the Gran Turismo 7 controversy? What do you think about the update that they're talking about here? Also, what about Call of Duty going to the Switch? You think we just get to a point where Activision can't ignore it anymore, or will it take Microsoft coming in to kind of change their ways? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.